All right. It's kind of dark in here. Spooky. Maybe I should turn on the light or turn toward the light. Just keep it spooky. I'll turn on the light. That's why I figure I should start it. Besides, since you're here, I wanted to share with you a funny story that just took place on my porch. Hold on a second. Yes, it's pajama time. If I'm not at work, it's pajama time. I don't know if that helped a whole lot, but fuck it. We're doing it anyways. I've got so much shit I've got to cover today. So just now, turning up my volume. Just now, I was complaining in the comment like every dog in my neighborhood's barking. So I stepped out on the porch for a minute. Can you hear the grinder? There's a homie out there working on a house. This time of year, a lot of people work around here. And I went out just kind of peeking around. And I heard what I'm assuming, hey Gling, hey Beanie, barely made it, hey awesome. I come out and I hear what I assume is the dog's owner. And they're like, shut the fuck up. Get their own dogs. And I'm like, hey Isabel, hey everybody. And I go, I'm standing there laughing. And then the guy stops grinding and he says, yeah, really. And she's like, they can't help it. They're upset. And then he just turns the grinder right back on. It's fuck fluffy Fridays at 5, and I'm still learning to say it. Beanie Girl, when you get a chance, no rush, because I know you just got in the door. What's up, Asher? Put up that link for Mountain Rose Herbs, and I'll pin that for anybody who wants to still order from there. Let's see, and I was suggesting for someone on our Facebook page is having a problem. They park down at the bottom of a hill, and their house is up at the top of the hill. And dogs keep pissing all over their rims. And thank you. Let's see. Oh, I went to the thingy. I love to fuck all this up. That's why I need Beanie's help. There it is. Okay. Pin message. So their pinned will be, I think I pinned it. Maybe I did not. I'm going to try again. Okay, no, it's pinned. There in the pinned messages will be the link for Mountain Rose Herbs. Let's see. I don't remember what the fuck. I've got so much shit to cover. It's insane. The house is almost done, so I'll do a video of that like tomorrow because soon I won't just be going back up inside of it. Hopefully, we'll have new neighbors and they'll be awesome, right? That's the hope. I actually mentioned to my landlord earlier that some crazy woman had stopped by the other day, and I'm going to share the story with you guys as we start to get going. Oh, I was talking about the driveway. My driveway? Look, I'm already losing my shit. I'm telling you, it's been a long-ass week. I've got so many things to talk about. It's fucking unreal. So I'm working on the house the other day, and I kept getting interrupted. It was starting to get on my nerves. It was like one thing after another. Neighbors and this and that. And first, the crackhead neighbor stops by. Hey, how's it going? I'm like, good. What's up? What are you going to hate, Tarcisia? Well, what are you going to do with all these 5-gallon buckets out here? I was like, well, we're not done with them yet. And she goes, oh, I was hoping I could have some. And I said, for what? And she goes, I put all my dog shit in them. I'm like, of course you do, right? Of course you do. What's up, Phoenix Sun? I'm like, yeah, fucking lady, no, we're not done with the buckets yet. And I mentioned it to Doug, and he's like, I'd rather use them for anything else. So I was like, yeah, just so she can't have them because I'm an asshole. What's up, kittens? Let's see. A little bit of sad news. My shoulder was all fucked up, right? And so I told the senior center, like, oh, it's beautiful out. It's beautiful. I thought about showing everybody, but I need to take videos and then upload them so I don't accidentally put addresses out and shit. I'm not like super careful, as we all know. I don't give a fuck, right? But in the same hand, you know, I don't want to just hand them the information and have to smack someone around. So I told the people at the senior center that I wouldn't be available this week because not only am I in tremendous pain, but it's cutting into my work and I need my money. And no one's messaged me back. Kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I was kind of like, oh, so now that I'm not willing to give you every minute of my time, you know, you guys are just like, fuck Ashley, right? Like, I kind of hurt my feelings just a smidgen. I was kind of like, eh. And usually they're super chatty with me, is why I say that. And then suddenly, like, no one's gotten a hold of me at all. And I'm like, okay, that's not very friendly. Okay, so then after the neighbor stops by to ask for buckets to put shit in, I'm trying to work again, and I hear this knocking, and the woman's like, hello, and I'm like, hey, Desgraciado, and I'm like, what's up? And I look over, it's this weird looking lady, I'm not gonna lie, she looks a little too thin, and my eyes are sunken in from working all the time and shit. This lady looks, like a druggie. Yeah. So she says, I'm looking for a place to rent, right? And she's looking all around in the house. And I'm like, well, there's a couple things you might want to know to save you the time. It's a 2-bedroom. And she's like, whoa, I need a 3-bedroom. And I was like, well, this probably won't do it for you. I was like, and no pets. And she says, oh, well, my dog, he's old. He's like 13. He's not even like having a dog. And I'm like, no pets. And I got to ask before you even continue to look around and get interested, are you some kind of druggie? And she goes, no, I own a housekeeping business. And I was like, that doesn't mean you're not a druggie. We're pretty strict about that at this point. And she goes, oh, yeah. And right back to the dog, right? And I said, look around this house. We're still fixing damage from a dog that lived here that wasn't allowed to live here. Okay. And she goes, oh, well, he was my firstborn. And I got real flat, monotone, and went, your dog is not a child. I mean, I'm up on like the lift and shit, like, or the fucking bench. And I'm like, your dog is not a child. I'm pissed. And she says, well, I mean, like, I had him before I had all my kids. And I'm like, no, your dog is not a child. And it's probably somewhat offensive to your children that you refer to that dog as your firstborn. Did you give birth to it? No. I'm like, so she's still looking around, like thinking about it, right? And she starts going to the backyard. And I said, hey, you should be careful back there. I had to clean up 6 tons of dog shit back there. So, and there's still some back there. And she goes, oh, that's my 8-year-old's job. I said, huh? She goes, to clean up all the dog poop. I went, I really don't think this is a house for you. So when I talked to my landlord today, I brought this up. I said, look, I didn't mean to screen. Oh, and she said, I don't think you're allowed to ask me these things, or our landlord's not allowed to ask these things of a tenant. I said, well, I'm not the landlord. I'm the neighbor. And so I told the landlord about all this today, and he goes, oh, hell no. I said, yeah, I told her we're already trying to clean up after a dog that was here. You're not allowed to have dogs here. And if you're looking to rent a house, you're going to have a lot of trouble finding one that will allow you to have the dog. And I didn't ask. We all know this is probably some 13-year-old pit bull. Okay. So thank you, Joseph, for your wonderful compliments as usual. Jennifer, yeah, I called her out. I couldn't help it. She looked like a tweaker. Okay. Oh no, she is not living here. That is not going to happen. Let's see if there was anything else I wanted to cover before we get into emails, because I've got a shit ton of them. I'm going to start and end with this story because it's very important. Okay. Actually, Beanie, what I'm going to do right now is send you this GoFundMe. Okay. So that you can put it into the comments, and we'll do it at the beginning and the end of the stream, okay? Because you'll see. So I just sent it to you. No rush. There's an old woman who was attacked by a family dog. This story came up in, I believe it's Pitbull Problems, one of those Facebook pages. They're having trouble, and she has had extensive surgeries. I'm going to read you the story. Yeah. Oh, landlords can ask about pets. She said I couldn't ask her about being a crackhead, which I was like, well, I'm not the landlord. I'm your neighbor, so I'm going to ask. Um, Let me read you guys. There's a horrific picture that goes along with this. I will put the link in the description. I will show you guys the picture. It's right here in my emails. As I said, I'm being very careful about what I show on the screen. It's been a long week without IHD. And I think we've all partially learned our lessons here. We have to be careful. So let me show you this picture of this unfortunate woman. This is her. All laid up in the hospital bed. I mean, she just looks like a pile of blankets, okay? And I don't think it was their family mutt, chef, but it was a family dog, like it belonged to a friend or something. Let me get into reading this to you guys, okay? A woman named Molly Silva shared this, and I told her in the comments that I already donated, okay? Thank you, Beanie. I already donated, and I said I would encourage you guys to help as well. Even if it's $2 or $3, do what you can. This old woman has a long road to recovery. And as we know, and as I said on the Facebook page when I shared it, these mutts, when someone puts up an Alaskan Malamute, it will get up to $10,000 in the first day or two. This poor old woman's was only at around $1,300, $1,500 when I looked at it earlier. Okay, so she said, please, please pray for my mama. She was mauled by a family member's dog. So one of the extended family members. And it turned on her, and she's fighting for her life right now. Yesterday, she got a tracheotomy placed in a feeding tube. Okay. We have so much recovering to do. Please pray for her. We have a GoFundMe set up to help with her costs. We are in day 17. She currently has gotten 5 wound vacs. She'll need at least 2 major skin grafts. She lost her right side of her colon and has approximately 31 staple wounds to her body and face. Please, please pray for her mother. And so if you can't afford to throw the $2 or $3, guys, like we said, it's just $2 or $3. This old woman, this is how we can actually get involved rather than just bitching about dogs, right? But this poor woman got hurt terribly. It's a terrible situation. The GoFundMe is right there. Beanie put it up. If you guys can help at all, please, find it in your heart to help this woman. This is when we need to step up and be there for humanity. That's what people are always like, oh, I'm like this go-getter and I'm always volunteering or I'm helping this person and that. That's how I show that I care about humanity over dogs, because you see the support that these fucking things get, and that just drives me more. Okay? Thank you, Beanie. Let's move on. I have so many emails. It's unreal. I'm going to try to keep this as a reasonable live stream. Worst case scenario, we'll go live again tomorrow so I can cover this. I literally have almost 50 emails. Okay, so we're 2 in. Let's do it. This one came from, oh yes, and thank you, Asher. I asked Asher to start doing this for us and take some of the work off of Beanie too. There is IHD's petition. If you haven't signed it, I'm sure everyone here has, but if you haven't, or you know anyone who will, please sign the petition. So let's get it. This came from Alasade, okay? And they said, I hope you're doing fine. Your content's becoming more and more interesting. I notice you do talk about your background and life experience, and they humbly suggest that I avoid giving out too much personal information, okay? In particular, your location. There are so many nut jobs and weirdos out there that will get offended by your content, and God forbid you would become an easy target. Never forget that dog nuts have no respect for human life. Guys, I know I talk a lot about a certain city I live in. I don't live in that city. I live outside of there, okay? I'm not saying which direction, northeast, south, or west. I'm in Arizona, okay? That's how I kind of leave it, nice to have you, Rational Cleanliness. What a great name for I love it. Fantastic name. Excuse me. That was great. That's my point, Chef Mutt Meat. When the anti-dog community shows support for dog attack victims, that'll make a good impression to the public, which is why I'm so passionate about these petitions and things like that. Yeah, and stalkers, fuck them. Like I said, I'm not worried about it. I have lawyers, and the few problems I've had, the very few, I've forwarded to my lawyers. That way, if anything ever happens, I was the first one to speak on it. That's why I have them. Now, let's check out some dog nuttery from the land down under. Yesterday, I went to a chemist to get some supplies, and in one of the aisles, I noticed some mutt images. Right next to the oral care section, I saw a big column full of various dog food and treats. I attached some of these images. There are multivitamins, oral care, stress, anxiety relieving treats, and treats for mutts in a chemist's office. I thought it wasn't the huge profit the business owner wouldn't have put. You can say hi, but you gotta go. Yeah, go play. I'll be with you soon. All right, cool. He's gone. They'd rather milk these stupid dog nuts rather than telling them to go and seek psychiatric help. Good point. 1 Foot Forward was an ad for mental health awareness campaign, which I saw last month on the walls of the railway network. I'm so disappointed with the mental health profession and all of those who claim they want to spread awareness about mental health for its complacency with the dog culture. Why are dogs pushed via the advocacy for mental health? I believe dog nuts have found the mental health pandemic as a way of which they can normalize, market, and promote the presence of dogs in human environments. Also, they try to present dog love as a form of therapy for mental health. A very effective deception indeed. And finally, to compound your fun, I enclosed this email with the report of a mutt getting kissed and loved on by another sweet and loving, gentle dog. Stay safe. Fuck Fluffy. I'm going to put that link in the description. We know there's already been this thing about promoting animal abuse and everything, so I'm going to start putting a disclaimer into the descriptions. I do not promote animal abuse, and a warning for graphic material, as Chef Mutt Meat knows all about. Rational Cleanliness says I made a video of dog kisses and dog poop eating side by side so people could connect the dots. I love it. I love it. I love it. And yes, I will definitely subscribe when I'm done here, because I can't do two or three things at once. I can't even talk right. So let's move on. Thank you, Alisade, for your email. I really appreciate, especially your guys' personal emails like that. Okay. I'd like to stop and thank T-Dog, Christian Bale, Joseph. Who else? There's a couple others, and I put some of them in the notes. I believe Jennifer might have sent me something. I got a couple things from Moni Tony. And I really, really, really appreciate all of you. Okay. Annabelle says they are creating patients just like the regular medical industry is. Exactly. 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 So this is an interesting one. And then we're going to get into a really fucked up scenario that has T-Dog and I bitching for the majority of the day today. And I will share them with you. Let's see. This came from March through April of 2017. Okay, it's just a quick human infection by Pasteurella canis. All right, Pasteurella species are a component of the normal oral pharyngeal. I just said this earlier, so we're just gonna say fuck that and pass the word because I don't want to sit here and butcher it. My brain's not right. I have MS. I told you guys, and a big symptom of my trigeminal neuralgia and MS is my shoulder and how much pain I've been in. So you hear me skipping my words and fucking stuff up? Welcome to my world. In humans, the skin and soft tissue are the most common sites for Pasteurella infection. And see, there it is, infections. And less commonly, the respiratory tract can also be affected. We report a case of pneumonia by Pasteurella canis in a chronic respiratory disease patient with a history of permanent contact with a dog. Pasteurella is a genus of the gram-negative bacteria, which belongs to the Pasteurellidae family, with the species are small, nomatile, non-spore-forming, anaerobic, and generally appear as single bacillus. Nonetheless, they may also be found in pairs or in short chains. The members of this genus are primarily pathogens of animals. In humans, they are known to cause zoonotic infections, which have been described from Pasteurella multocida, okay? The most commonly isolated, Pasteurella canis, Pasteurella dogmatis, and Pasteurella stomatis. Most human infections are caused by a dog or a cat bite, although licks from these animals have also been associated with infection. An 89-year-old Caucasian male was presented to the emergency room with a history of productive cough and dyspnea. I should have passed this article today, which lasted for several weeks. There was no mention of a fever. The examination in the ER demonstrated that the respiratory rate was 28 breaths per minute, with oxygen saturation of 90%. The blood pressure was 122/78. The heart rate was 88 beats per minute. Irregular pulse and articular temperature was 37.7 Celsius. All right. The Glasgow coma scale was at 14. All right. Laboratory exams revealed hemoglobin of 12.0. And they're going to go through some other stuff we don't really need to know. 2 blood cultures were collected and antibiotic therapy. All right. Assuming the diagnosis of community-acquired pneumonia with severity, a patient was admitted to the internal medicine ward. To what concerns the previous medical history, the patient has an unstudied chronic respiratory disease, possibly related to his smoking history, valvular heart disease, and arterial fibrillation, chronic kidney disease, hypertension, and regarding the epidemiological... See, I shouldn't have done this. Words that I normally say just escape me when I have MS. They would like to emphasize the poor social environment and a close and prolonged contact with a dog. No history of bites. There was no history of antibiotic therapy, nor any contact with the healthcare system within the last 3 months. The chest CAT scan had revealed pulmonary emphysema, okay, of a minor volume. And I'm skipping through some stuff to stay into the most important shit here. It was assumed the definition of diagnosis of community-acquired pneumonia with probable pleural effusion. Taking into account the initial unfavorable clinical course, particularly the worsening of the respiratory failure, the microbiology laboratory was contacted on the 3rd day of hospitalization, and we were able to obtain provisional information that there were colonies of growth suggestive to brucella in the 2 blood samples. Bacteriological examination and culture of respiratory secretions was not performed because the patient was already undergoing antibiotic therapy. So on the 8th day, I'm skipping forward, like I said, 8th day of hospitalization, it was known the final results of the blood cultures with identification of Pasteurella canis. So from just being around the dog, not even from getting bit, nothing like that. All right, let's back out of this. We do have a great community. You're all the best. You're the best. And dogs introduce healthy microbes. Yeah, word of the day. I'm the most perfect stepmommy. Hi, Vox. How you doing? Okay, guys. Let's get into this one. T-Dog and I have been carrying on about this all day. You guys know about robot dogs, right? We've all heard about this. They released a bunch of robot dogs into the public in New York. It didn't go over very well. People were like, fuck that, and that's creepy. And, you know, it's like living in some dystopian, strange society with these robot dogs wandering around. Well, guess what? As this article says from October 14th of 2021, they're putting guns on robot dogs now. Right. Okay. That's great. Oh, these quadruped robots are one of the most interesting developments in robotics in recent years. Are they? They're small, nimble, and able to traverse environments that frustrate wheeled machines. So, of course, it was only a matter of time until someone put a gun on one. The image above shows this quadrupedal robot, a Vision 60 unit built by U.S. firm Ghost Robotics that's been equipped with a custom gun by small arms specialist Sword International. It seems the gun itself, dubbed the Spur, or Special Purpose Unmanned Rifle, is designed to be fitted onto a variety of robotic platforms. It has 30-time optical zoom, thermal camera for targeting in the dark, and an effective range of 1,200 meters. As if dogs weren't bad enough, they're robotic, and put a gun on one. What's not clear is whether or not Sword International or Ghost Robotics are currently selling this combination of gun and robot. But if they're not, it seems they will be soon. As the marketing copy on Sword's website boasts, the Sword Defense System, Spur, is the future of unmanned weapon systems, and that future is now, bitches. They may as well have thrown the bitches in. The machine was shown off for the first time at the Association of the United States Army 2021 annual conference earlier this week. The conference bills itself as a land power exposition and professionally development forum held in Washington, D.C. The dates of October 11th through 13th. Details about the partnership between Ghost and Sword are unclear, but Ghost quadrupedal robots are already being tested by the U.S. military. Last year, the 325th Security Forces Squadron at Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida became the first unit in Department of Defense to use quadrupedal robots in regular operations. It uses them to patrol the base's perimeter, navigating swampy areas that aren't desirable for human beings and vehicles. Although reconnaissance is one of the most obvious use cases for robot dogs, manufacturers are slowly experimenting with other payloads, as well as providing remote video and mapping. The machines could be used as mobile cell towers to defuse bombs or detect chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear matter. And of course, they can become weapons themselves. Boston Dynamics, the best-known manufacturer of quadrupedal robots and makers of Spot, we read about Spot, has a strict policy against weaponizing its machines. And put a gun on it. Other manufacturers, it seems, aren't so picky. Of course, it wasn't Boston Dynamics that did this. I'm just saying. After all, plenty of companies already sell unscrewed gun platforms that use tank treads or wheels, so adding the same basic kit to legged machines isn't much of a stretch. The bigger question is how these robots will be deployed in the future and what level of oversight will be required when they start firing lethal rounds at humans. For a while now, experts have been warning about the slow rise in the use of killer robots, known as lethal autonomous weapons systems, or laws in official jargon, and official U.S. policy does not prohibit the development or deployment. Many groups are campaigning for a preemptive ban on such systems, but in the meantime, it seems companies will continue to build what is possible, and that means putting guns on robot dogs. This article came from The Verge. It was supplied to me by T-Dog. Oh, this sounds great. How do you put a robot dog to sleep? Is that a joke, Disgraciato, or is that a real question? Because I'm curious either way. Ah, geez. Yes, word of the day. I'm so glad you're here. Good to see you. And let's go on from here. Yes, very glad to have Rational Cleanliness here. I will definitely go and subscribe. I need to remember to do that. If someone could remind me. Here we go. Ah, shit. So there's this singer. His name is Fran Healy. Okay. A lot of people don't know the guy, but neither here nor there. This article comes from Sky News and was published the 15th of October of 2021. He was mauled by a sausage dog. And when I first seen the article, I was like, sausage dog? Is this some kind of like snack food or what are we talking about? I think he means like a wiener dog, right? Or, a fat dog, a fat fluffy. There's fluffy and fat fluffy, like sausage dog, right? That's only my assumption. The 48-year-old musician said a neighbor called an ambulance, but a fire engine with 5 Calvin Klein models showed up and suggested he go to A&E. Interesting. A weird story. Singer Fran Healy says there was so much blood after he was mauled by a runaway sausage dog he tried to save from the middle of a car crash. The musician said it happened in Los Angeles, where he now lives, and that he had to drive to the hospital while he was bleeding. He described the bizarre incident on Twitter alongside a picture of his injured hand. He said he jumped out of his car after seeing the 3 other vehicles jackknife near his home. And a dachshund, that's right, I'd gone through it. I didn't see the dachshund part, I skimmed through it, so I was right. Wiener dog. A dachshund was running from the middle of the chaos. Cars bombed down our hill, and it could have been toast, so I tried to pick it up, and it mauled the shit out of my left hand. His words, not mine. I held on, hoping to chuck it onto our porch, but then it slipped and bolted off. Okay. The 48-year-old said a neighbor called an ambulance, but a fire engine with 5 Calvin Klein models turned up and suggested he goes to A&E. I didn't know if he was talking about like the TV channel or if that's what they call the hospital in their area. I have no fucking idea. Like I said, it's a weird story. The Star added that the dog is fine. He was cornered at the bottom of the hill, and the owner, who lives in Stevie Nicks' old house, was reunited. bizarre story. So, you know, he got mauled by a sausage dog, which I got a kick out of. I was like, it's a wiener dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Gabriel, good to see you. All right. And hey, what's up, Real X Star? Good to see everybody. Let's get into some more stories. I constantly tell people that, Chef, don't risk your freaking life over these stupid mutts. Grow up. Okay? Are you really that ate up? Oh, Jeezy Pete. Who is this one from? It's from Joseph, of course. Okay. Sends me a picture of when he's having, he goes to like the firewall on Yelp, and it's a dog. Okay. And as I pointed out to him, they also do that on YouTube. So for any of you guys that have gone and the, you know, page doesn't load and it's taken a long time and it waits and waits, and then it'll come up and say, looks like something's wrong, you know, try and refresh. They always put the picture of the dog. So I just want to touch base on this real quick. And not that we don't already all know this, they like to insert these things into everything. You can be looking at home and garden magazines. You could be trying to go through Yelp, Google, any of it. And they're just jamming these things down your throat. And this was before I even started like looking dogs up and sticking myself into that situation. They insert these fucking things into everything. Although I have been very clear with my son's school about how I feel about dogs and to not allow any around my son, he comes home the other day, they handed out all these little frisbees, and it's got a fucking dog on it. And I was like, oh, great, woohoo. And so not going to be a huge dickhole and take it away from him right away. I thought like, hey, I'll just wait until he's not paying attention or he has some other toy he likes more. And he goes to throw it at me and I'm not paying attention. And it shot underneath the stove, right? And I was like, oh no. And he's like, you know, he wants me to get it. So I went and got a spoon. And I did. I tried to get it out of there. And then I was just like, look, bro, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Don't know what to tell you. It's gone, right? And no, I went outside to go smoke and came back. And he totally figured out a way to get it out of there. And he was really stoked. He's like, look, you know, and I'm like, hey. So, shit. I can't win. Like, all right, let me bust out a fluffy. My hair is getting all staticky. It's starting to drive me insane. I can't win, Beanie. I can't. But, oh no. This is an argument over dog poop that led to a shooting. Let me go look at this. I can't remember if it was an older video or a newer video. Okay, it was a bit older. We'll go ahead and listen to it together. It's only a couple seconds long. But I cannot remember exactly. This is probably something that was sent to me by T-Dog. As I mentioned before, she helps me with probably 60 to 80% of my content on any given week. And for all you slackers out there, she even had surgery and she's still been on it this week because she's a bad motherfucker. So let's get past this damn ad, shall we? Blah, 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 blah. All right.
People live down over there. They just walk their dogs up to Walmart and back down.
Alan Nottingham sees it all the time near Parker in Florida, but he's never heard of a dog walk turning into a shooting until last night.
One shot was fired
in an argument over picking up after a dog. The sheriff's office says it's unclear which man started the argument and which man pulled the trigger. Luckily, no one was hit.
The disparity of what the argument was.
Funniest part is they just show a random pile of dog shit while they're talking about it. Like, there's this turd.
About versus the outcome of the argument is certainly concerning, for sure.
The suspect who fired took off, prompting the sheriff's office to put out a reverse 911 call to nearby households, asking people to shelter in place as they searched the nearby neighborhood.
At the time, we didn't know what all we were going into, who this person was, and so on. So out of an abundance of caution, we will issue a reverse 911 asking people to stay inside.
That's the reason we locked the door when we heard it.
That was lifted around 11 o'clock last night. The suspect was never found.
I think that's nuts. Somebody ought to hit that guy in the head.
That suspect could face a variety of charges, including reckless endangerment and menacing.
I'm sorry. Oh, I've gone crazy. That's when the fluffies come out. I just start covering myself in these fuckers every time they talk about crazy shit. He says, that was just crazy. All of that over dog turds. You know, I feel like it just adds up over and over again how fucking worthless these things are. Oh, Lordy B. Let's move on. Oh boy, guys. Annabella was talking in the Signal app where some people, there's a handful of people in there, have an area to go and privately chat. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. They have an area to go and privately chat about all this dog stuff where you don't have to worry about YouTube fucking with you or Facebook fucking with you or whatever else. And so, you know, we all get pretty busy, but Annabella, unfortunately, seen someone wiping their dog's ass, and it was the first time for her to see this. Show of hands, if you like, of anybody else who's seen this. I've seen this before. I've seen people wiping their dogs' asses. They feel that it's more sanitary. They're worried about the dog coming in and putting chocolate starfishes all over the house. It's still fucking disgusting. It's so creepy. And so I pointed out, you know, that I said people will clean their dogs' asses, and it's another way of them basically replacing children with dogs. You know, they'll wipe the asses of these dogs, and then I quickly pointed out they'll wipe the ass of a dog, but they won't take care of their own ailing parents. You know, if grandma or grandpa or mom and dad need help and they need to have their asses wiped, they won't do that. They'll pay to put them in a home. They'll pay someone tons of money to take care of their own parents, but they'll wipe a dog's ass. And this is a real thing for those of you that haven't seen it before. They bring wet wipes with them, and she even said she observed them cleaning. Hey, Cosmo, good to see you. Hey, there she is. So I was just talking about the dog's asses getting wiped. She even experienced their balls and ass getting wiped, and this is what she has to see out her kitchen window. And then she experienced it on a second occasion. Yeah, I unfortunately have seen this. Now, as I've mentioned before, I've worked in a bunch of rich areas for a bunch of rich, crazy people. And I've mentioned to them when they brought it up, you will never pay me enough money to wipe a dog's ass. That is not happening. Let's see. Slime said, I recently punished my dog for stealing the cat's food and for attacking my cat. I slapped the dog. My mom got sad and I had to wash my hands with soap. Slime is stuck in a house full of animals and basic constant torture and abuse. So everybody say a prayer for Slime. Matthew says, there was once a time I read from an article one of these idiots were washing those under a water bubbler. I might have read the exact same article, Matthew, and let's hope it was the same article. I read an article years ago before I even got into the dog-hating arena, if you will, about someone, brace yourselves, this is disgusting, holding their dog up to a water fountain and cleaning its asshole in the water fountain. And they got ticketed. Ticketed. Let me jump up to a water fountain and start cleaning my butthole. Give myself the old public bidet. And let's see how that goes. My ass would be locked the fuck up. We already know that. Absolute mental disorder. Okay. And like I said, I cannot help but say that, you know, this is just another way of them justifying and placing these animals into a child's perspective. They'll mistreat their own children, but they'll wipe this dog's ass. Their own kids are over there scratching because they need to be wiped better, right? They won't take care of their parents, won't wipe their parents' asses, you know, but cleaning the dog's ass, totally acceptable. So yeah, I can't even wrap my head around that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm creeping on my neighbors. Oh, it's some friends of mine down the street checking out the house we've been working on. Yeah, little kids touch those fountains. Yeah, I'm sorry. I warned you guys. Don't ever drink from any of those public things either. Z Oliver says, my ex's dog would always have a poopy asshole after it went, and I had to wipe that ass and it would snip. Oh, hell no. I would rather be single for the rest of my life. Duct tape my hands together and prevent me from masturbating. I don't give a fuck as long as I don't ever have to deal with no shit like that. No. So yeah, we'll get past this disturbing mental problem these people have, but they literally will carry these wipes around and they have to clean the dog's ass. And Z Oliver's right, and these people that are doing it, you know, they have like this logic behind it, but I feel it's much deeper than that because, you know, it's a little bit more. J-Red says, my son's father does this. He used to do it right in the kitchen while I was eating. I screamed at him. What the fuck? What the fuck? Anna, someone put tampons in a dog? Oh my God, I've heard about that too. Hold on, I must have missed something. Rational Cleanliness says, I saw a video of owners pulling tampons out of a dog's butt and puking while doing it. Okay, they didn't put it in their butt. They eat them, and then they shit them out. They do the same thing with dryer sheets, chunks of tennis ball, and it gets stuck. And so they go to shit, and it's like hanging, and they have to, like, pull it out. Fucking the stuff people do to keep these fucking dogs is beyond disgusting. I'll never understand it. Rational Cleanliness is the perfect way of describing this. Your name is perfect. Oh, yeah, they're not putting the tampons in the dogs' butts. Let me just be very clear. The dogs are shitting them out, okay? Ugh. I agree. Yes, actually, and the dryer sheets can, specifically as to what they are. Oof. Yeah, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Like I said, I have so many freaking emails to cover. I have some comedy to help us chill out at the end, okay? And Beanie, if you could throw up that GoFundMe again. There was an old woman who was viciously attacked by a family member's dog. She's getting no help. They've got to GoFundMe up. Like I said, if this was a dog that was hurt, they'd be 10, 20 grand already in, okay? So we need to, like Chef Mutt said, and she was right, the more we step up and speak out and help these victims of dog attacks, the better it is for everyone. Even if it's only $2 or $3, guys, try and help this old woman out. I promised her family I would help. They were so thankful for the donation I gave them, and I'm going to donate again next week. So you guys, please, you know, if you can. If you can't, don't, obviously, but even $2 or $3. Let's get into this article that I know was sent to me by T-Dog. Why do dogs stink when they are wet? And this made me immediately think about Chef Mutt video the other day. And if you haven't gone to Chef Mutt channel, which I'm sure all of you have, make sure and go there and subscribe. This also goes for Dog Free One Day Lisa. And there's other people, Four-Legged Plague, Jared the Dog Slayer, K9 Critic. Check them out. Oh, and guys, IHD's live chat is still up. So stop by and say hi. He'll be back in the next day or two. So why do dogs stink when they're wet? This is an article by Science ABC that was published the 7th of October of 2020, so roughly a year ago. The stinky odor of a wet dog is caused by the microorganisms present in their fur. The microbes release volatile compounds that create this recognizable stink. Prepare yourselves for the dog nuttery. Pet parents love nothing more than watching their furry friends splash around in a pool on a blistering summer day, and apparently wiping their butts. Most dog breeds enjoy spending time in water, whether it's at the beach or in a nearby puddle. However, there is no denying that the entire experience can be quickly ruined by the awful wet dog stench that lingers after your pup's play. And they put up this horrific picture of this dog. It's fucking disgusting. Individually, dogs and clean water do not stink. I beg to differ. Yes, dogs do emanate a unique musk. That's what you call it. But those who love them are often unbothered by it. No, they are used to it. Okay? However, the combination of the two makes even the most devoted dog lovers scrunch up their nose in disgust. So what makes a wet dog so stinky? I just want to pull out the fact that a lot of these people will say that they like the smell of wet dogs. I've seen people say this on multiple occasions. Microorganisms are the real culprits. Both humans and canines have resident microbes, bacteria, and yeast dwelling on the skin and several other places like the GI tract. This group of microscopic organisms is collectively referred to as the microbiome and is responsible for the resultant odor after your dog takes a dip. The thick fur of most dog breeds is a comfortable home for these microorganisms. During their stay, they continuously excrete waste products, which contain different volatile chemical compounds. It is these volatile compounds that are the real culprits of the wet dog smell. You may wonder why only wet dogs smell if these volatile compounds are continuously produced. There are two reasons for this. First, water improves the living conditions for these microbes. If a dog has been wet for a while, the prolonged moisture is perfect for the microbes to multiply beyond their usual numbers. As expected, there is an accompanying spike in the number of waste chemical compounds being produced. The foul smell of these compounds now overpowers the senses as opposed to when the dog was dry. Second, this makes it easier for the microbe excreta to evaporate. The volatile compounds get dissolved in the water. As the water evaporates, the chemicals get released into the air. The foul smell is now accentuated as it can reach your nose more efficiently due to its presence in the atmosphere along with the evaporated water. Additionally, the evaporated water boosts the humidity of the air enveloping the dog. Humid air can host a great concentration of odorous molecules, even further intensifying the effect. Certain breeds have extra oils within their coats, particularly certain hounds. This unique oil is known as sebum, which gathers on the hair shaft and follicles to guard the skin of a canine from dehydration. When water comes into play, water and oil collectively create a conducive environment for bacterial growth. Sebum provides an antibacterial shield by allowing microorganisms to thrive on the surface of the skin, thus preventing them from entering the body. The sebaceous glands, which secrete the sebum, facilitate the maturity of anaerobes, and these anaerobes utilize the lipids present in sebum to nourish themselves. As they grow, they produce microbe excreta in the form of stinky, volatile compounds. I feel like a valley girl. I'm like, ugh. The chemistry behind the wet dog smell is more complex than you might imagine. No single molecule transforms our beloved fur balls into olfactory assassins. After getting wet, instead, a cornucopia of molecules brings out this particular stink. There were compounds of smells ranging from medicinal and sulfurous to earthy and fruity in wet dog hair. Some compounds. Oh, I'm fine. Oh my God, my brain. I can't. I think I'm done. Further research is needed. Oh. I should have started putting fluffies on my head again. Oh, no, that's good, Vox. Enjoy your friend. Socializing is important. Yeah, they stink when they're dry, too. I completely agree, Beanie. Oh, man. Yeah, and watch Chef Mutt Meat. And also Dog Free One Day Lisa. She's got a great... yeah, T-Dog is the best. I'm hoping one day she'll join us. But she's not comfortable, so it's okay. Real X-Star says they are demons on demonic legs. Exactly. Exactly. Ugh, fucking disgusting. It stinks, period. I agree. Let's move on. Fuck Fluffy. Brr. Hey, I have acne too. I got this guy right here. I told Jennifer today I named him Painty. Because I've been dealing with all this paint and dirt this week, so inevitably I ended up with some zits, but I'm not that fucking sick. How people love these stinky fucks. I completely agree. Ah. Here's one we'll all enjoy. The title is Stop Bringing Your Dogs Everywhere. Okay? T-Dog is watching and she knows we appreciate her, and just let her know is always nice. This one comes from this March 21st, 2016, but whatever, because it's called Stop Bringing Your Dogs Everywhere. Man's best friend. Dogs are arguably the most precious creatures that we humans have been gifted with. If given the choice between a dog and most people in the world, I would choose to kick it with the dog 9 times out of 10. I'm not ashamed of it at all either, this person says. These furry friends do everything your friends do and more. Just saying. They'll chill with you while you watch some TV. They'll listen to your problems without rudely interrupting. Motherfucker, they cannot understand you. Ugh. Did I mention they're soft and make great pillows? Yeah, well, with the article we just read, you rub your face all over those microbes. Get down. They'll be by your side when you're wrong. They'll also be there to forgive you. That's because they don't fucking care. They just want food. As long as they're potty trained, dogs are great options as lifelong companions. There's only one problem I have with dogs, and it really boils down to the owners. I'm just going to be blunt. Stop bringing your dogs with you everywhere you go. Seriously, there's a time and a place for everything. So even this person that likes to snuggle on them and get all up in their shit and possibly finger bang Fluffy agrees. Okay, so let's just go on. Taking your dog into a movie theater is unnecessary. Do you dog owners really think that Mr. Mittens gives a shit about Deadpool? I'm not even kidding either. I've worked at a movie theater for a couple years and I've seen people pull some wacky stunts, but asking me if you need to buy a ticket for your dog is ridiculous. Let's talk about the sanitary issues your feces-covered dog brings with it while I'm at it. It's funny because this guy was just talking about loving all over them, but hey, whatever. He goes outside, does his business in a nice-looking bush, proceeds to roll around in it. It's not his fault. Remember, he's just a stupid dog. Then the owner takes this stinky dog and lets him prance around the grocery store. Call me high maintenance or a drama queen, but I don't want your dog's fecal matter on my defenseless leafy lettuce. If I wanted a crappy salad, I'd go to Denny's. But no, I'm here at Safeway popping a blood vessel because your dog's hair and excrement are all over the food. If you're mildly offended after reading this far because your dog's a service dog, my sincerest apologies. Sure, this doesn't pertain to you. I disagree. I have seen maybe a handful of service dogs compared to the vast ocean of goofy-looking chihuahuas and beagles, and if you don't have a service dog and you're still offended, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not going to apologize. Look, I get it. Your dog is your little baby. You tell all your friends that Mr. Mittens is your child, and that's cool. But at the end of the day, you must realize that Mr. Mittens is a dumb dog and not a human being. And no matter how much you treat Mr. Mittens like a human, he will never be anything but a foolish dog. But you know what? Perhaps he learned to be so brain dead from his owner. I'm not telling you you're a bad owner or how to raise your dog. I'm telling you to be mindful of other people your dog impacts when he's out in public with you. Now go ahead. Call Mr. Mittens out of your kitchen where he's rolling around in the trash he knocked over a few minutes ago. Grab his leash and I'll see you two dinguses at the In-N-Out where you'll order a number 2 for him as if he really gives a you-know-what. However, or whatever, enjoy your double-double, Mr. Mittens. This guy, I believe, is going to end up being a dog hater. Okay? Just saying. Just Graciato said they'd eat your face after you die alone in your disgusting home. Exactly. See, I'm waiting to eat until after this. Yeah, there's a lot of gross shit in this one. Matthew says it's as revolting to the sound heard when fighting the end boss of Quake Mission Pack 3 Abyss Pandemonium IMHO. Damn. I'm literally outside right now smoking, listening to my neighbor talking to her mutt. Exactly. I hear it all the fucking time with these idiots around here. Like I said, Jennifer says, I read a story where a person had their night out ruined when a dog puked in the restaurant. The owner started scooping it up with their menus. No fucking respect. These people have no fucking respect for anybody. Yeah, please hit the like on your way in and out. It helps the video to be seen. Beanie's right. And let's see. And you can throw up the Facebook page if you want to. For any of you guys, you degenerates that have Facebook that want to join the Dogs Are Garbage, a.k.a. Ashley Facebook page, we'd love to have you. We post all of our fucked up memes there, okay, that we can't put here and that we can't put on regular ass Facebook because they take them immediately down. Also, everyone freaks out. This one came from Strawberry Lemonade. She's a regular subscriber, but she's been going to school. A lot of people are really busy right now. I've been busy with work. Tarcisia's in pain, and she's been busy with her shit. You know, I have Beanie and the kids in school, and they've got a couple things going on. We've all been stupid busy, so we're trying to keep up as much as we can. But she sent this article through the Signal app, and I promised her I would cover it. There's a dog parasite causing cancer-like growths in humans, and it's on the rise in North America. Okay? This was published in June of 2021. All right? A rare parasite that causes cancer-like growths in people's livers has started to becoming increasingly common in North America over the past decade, especially in certain portions of Canada. As reported in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, a team from the University of Alberta argued that the Alberta province of Western Canada has become somewhat of a North American hotspot for the rare infection. Known as human alveolar echocanosis, okay? They call it AE. Before 2013, just 2 human cases of the parasitic infection had been confirmed in the whole of North America. In the new study, however, researchers identified 17 cases in Alberta between 2013 and 2020. Researchers believe the strain of AE was likely brought to Canada by dogs from Europe, where the disease is rare but well established before being spread to urbanized coyotes and humans. So all these dogs they keep saving from every fucking place, Australia, Afghanistan, Iraq, and they're shipping them all to Detroit, and Detroit and Gary, Indiana. And I was just thinking of, they're just spreading this shit all around. There are all these fucking rules about taking your boat out of the water and driving with it because you can spread things. There's rules about shipping packages and the insects and snakes and things that get brought in. But dogs don't apply to any of this, as we've known. In coyotes in Calgary and in Edmonton, more than half have been found to be carrying the parasite. So the new strain seems to not only be more virulent, God damn it. I told him my MS, man. I'm sorry. The new strain seems to be not only more voracious when it attacks humans, but it seems to be super effective in the wild hosts. Stan Houston, an infectious disease expert from the University of Alberta who led the study, has said in a statement, in its typical life cycle, the tapeworm-like parasite, lives harmlessly in the small intestines of canines, typically foxes and coyotes, but also pet dogs. When the parasite's eggs are pooped out and eaten by rodents, the disease takes a different form and results in cyst-like tumors in the liver, which eventually kills the animal. If humans ingest the parasitic eggs, they too suffer from this nasty fate. According to the CDC, humans with the infection can also get tumors in the liver and lungs, and less frequently in the bones, kidney, spleen, muscles, central nervous system. However, the disease is relatively difficult to spot in humans as it can easily resemble other diseases, most notably cancer. Symptoms are also fairly vague, such as unspecified pain, jaundice, weakness, and weight loss. The parasite can kill a human host within 10 to 15 years if left untreated. If the infection is caught early, then surgery to remove the liver mass is possible, although 2/3 of patients will become inoperable as they didn't receive a diagnosis promptly enough. For these patients, a lifelong treatment of antiparasitic drugs can help stop the mass from growing, but the parasite will survive. Of the 17 cases documented in this study, 11 patients lived in rural areas, 14 of them had pet dogs, and 6 had weakened immune systems. That's out of 17. In nearly half the cases, the patients were only diagnosed with the parasitic infection while being tested for different illnesses. In the majority of cases, that was the people's first thought when they saw the imaging that it was cancer. The symptoms would be indistinguishable from other diseases in the liver, hence the need for a biopsy diagnosis. To prevent this grim infection, Houston, the man who's running the article, advises people to practice some simple hygienic precautions, such as thoroughly washing fruit and vegetables that have been on the ground. If you own pets, you be sure to wash your hands as much as you can after touching them, especially if they've come into contact with rodents or areas outdoor where coyotes and feces are. I say get rid of the fucking dog. We should be paying attention. It's still a very rare disease, he added, but people should keep that in perspective, adopt healthy health behaviors, and not obsess about this. No, don't obsess about it. You're allowed to obsess about the dog, Yeah. Yeah, I know. And they actually put tropical too. That's how it was spelled. I looked at it twice. The crappiest cities. That's why I said it, Desgraciado. I was like, Detroit, Gary, Indiana. I could have said some other places. I thought about adding some in, and I'm like, okay, your province is the hot spot, of course. Yeah, so good to have you, Rational Cleanliness. It's always nice to have the other people around that we know are intelligent. Generally, we have like a lot more people, but the weather's starting to chill out. I think some people are out having a good day. But we gained like a whole shit ton of subscribers. And at first I didn't know where they came from. And then I remembered I found this really seedy YouTube channel I was in hanging out. And that's where they came from. I noticed the language barrier as well. So welcome to all of the new subscribers that probably can't understand me. Not only because my English is terrible, but because they don't speak English. Oh, so when my cousin just died 4 months apart, around a year after they both got dogs, liver disease. Wow, Annabelle, that's... Okay, let me go check the text. What did I do? Are you telling me I did something fucked? Oh, I thank you for the reminder. You rock. I'm like, is it something? Do I have a booger or something hanging down? Did you want to say hi to Painty? Yeah, this sounds like the next plague. Let's move on. Like I said, I've got so much shit to cover. It's unreal. So much shit. And like I said, I'll probably just do a second live stream tomorrow. This is funny. Oh no.
Did you know Solar Negotiators is the best reviewed solar company online?
Did you know that on the dating site planetonly.com, someone commented?
Sorry guys, I had to find the little thingy. This is from October 10th of 2021. Central California SPCA offering $25 neutering for pit bulls and chihuahuas. The Central California SPCA has a new program aimed at getting more pit bulls and chihuahuas neutered. Back in May, the center was awarded $7,500 and was able to provide, see what I'm saying? $7,500 just in a random award. This isn't just all the other volunteer and stuff. That's why I said we got to help this old lady because she's going to be fucked. And no one wants to help victims of dog attacks. All they want to do is help the dog. And they were able to provide 125 neuter surgeries to male pit bulls. Now, that same program has been extended to chihuahuas. All right. Services are on a first come, first served basis and only apply to pit bulls and chihuahuas. That's all the article says, but come on. That's funny. Thank you, Relax. My English isn't so bad. It's my MS. I actually used to be amazing with writing and reading and shit and all that. And then as I've aged and then I got hit in the head and all that kind of shit, my language has deteriorated a little bit. So you'll see like some days like I'm like very fluent and very on it, and other days I'm like falling over myself to say a fucking sentence, right? So yeah, I know the commercials piss me off. Oh, thank you, Rational Cleanliness. I think that's why people seem to like me. I have a good energy and I can get bad information out there and still have fun while we do it and smile. And I always make sure to try and end on a comedy thing. Even if it's not exactly someone's cup of tea for comedy, you're going to get some kind of giggle out of it. Sometimes I tell jokes. Sometimes I this and that. You guys remember that joke I wouldn't stop telling when I was like, Vapor, a vegan, and a pit bull walk into a bar. I would tell you what they said, but none of them would shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I love a good dorky fucking joke. Disgraciado says, I'll do the neutering at the nuttering. I like how you said that. For free with my machete. No cruelty. It doesn't hurt. Hey, I already said it. Now you remember I had to take down that video. So I told you guys I ended up on a fetish website on accident because I was talking about castrating dogs and calves. And it got taken from YouTube and put on a fetish website for dudes that like to have their balls kicked and smashed in. And I was looking through the analytics on Facebook. I love this story. It's so funny. I was looking through the analytics on Facebook one day, and I'm like, oh, look at this blue line in the graphs. Like, a lot of people are watching from there. I don't know who these people are. And so I go look, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I've never heard of this website before. And I go and fucking put it in Google, and I'm like, oh, it's a ball-busting website. So yeah, they took my video, and I was getting like so many emails and messages every day all over on Facebook, on YouTube. I was getting emails. And just, oh my God, it was fucking intense. So finally, even though it was the highest viewed video I had for obvious reasons, I took it down. Now I will no longer explain how to neuter a dog or a calf, because I'm afraid it's going to happen again. Okay. So at first I was like, I don't care, and then like, as it went on and on, I was like, well, okay, I can't take this anymore. Fuck this. So let's move on. Like I said, I still have like, oh my God, I still have like 30 emails, and I don't even know how long we've been here. Oh, here we go. This came from October 14th of 2021. I'm beyond devastated. Owner horrified. His dog is fatally mauled by two larger dogs at Island View Beach. Now, when I first seen this, I thought, I just covered this, didn't I? And then I start reading it, and I'm like, no, it's a whole nother story. That happens all the time because there's so many fucking stories. I mentioned to someone, like, I've been involved in multiple forms of activism throughout my life. I've been that girl that's out there like, "Arr!" And I've got my soapbox and I pull it out, "Arr!" But I've always had a good way of getting my message across and smiling and being friendly and not vilifying people that don't think the same way as me. It's a bad way to get attention. You want to be compassionate and understanding. Even though I'm a war machine, I can play the game, okay? And so when I got into this, I was like, wow, this is not going to get boring anytime soon because there are so many fucking stories. So I've said before, when trolls and angry dog lovers are like, why don't you shut up? And I'm like, never. I will never shut up. Not until dogs stop attacking children. Then I will shut the fuck up, which means I'm never going to be able to shut up. A dog owner is speaking out after she says her small Havanese was fatally attacked by two larger unleashed dogs at Island View Beach in central Saanich on Monday. Diane was walking her two small dogs at the beach near the water when she said two larger dogs approached her. I saw them running toward my dog, and the next thing I know, they just grabbed her. It was horrific. I literally was fighting off two dogs in the water. I had to get into the water. I was ripping at the dogs, and they were just ripping apart at my small dog. She said even more alarming that nobody was nearby, including the dog's owner. Nobody came to help. Taking the 10-pound, 2-year-old Havanese little shit dog into her arms, she rushed back to her car that had her other dog who was not injured. I was still in shock and not able to comprehend the pain that my dog may have been in. She was in incredible pain. On her way to the vehicle, she said a woman who may have been the owner approached her and asked if the dog was okay. She then looked at the dog and remarked there was no blood, so she must be fine. Definitely probably the dog's owner. But after she took little piece of shit dog to a veterinary clinic, she said her beloved dog died about 8 hours later. My relationship with her, they love unconditionally. I've never experienced that like I did with little shit dog. Adding that little shit dog's father was a grand champion show dog, best dog I ever owned, huge loss for me. She reported the attack to the animal control, which confirmed that it's investigating and it's a top priority. They provided a statement saying it's requesting anyone who may have witnessed the attack to call. Said she'd like to find the owners of the two unleashed dogs, which she described as dogs with shepherd coloring that may have been mixed breeds. She also wants the other dog owners to stay vigilant when visiting Island View Beach so the same thing doesn't happen to them. And then they remind you, dogs must be leashed in the campground area of the park and kept under control at all times. We all know that does not mean shit to these people. Yeah, exactly. Love it when random. And see, it's like, Disgraciado, I would enjoy it more if it meant that they all died, right? Like, say they're like, oh, well, okay, little dog died, right? And then animal control showed up and killed the other two dogs. Then I would be like, hey, look at that. 3 dogs down. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see. Boob tube's getting on my last nerve lately, especially with the IHD banning. Already ready to stop. I thought about that too, and I was like, but I can't do that. I have to stay strong. I got to keep up the fight. But everybody has to do what they need to do. I totally understand. He called it butt tube. Castration fetish is deranged. I agree. Exactly. So, you can do it at home. Cool. Oh, you guys crack me up. I know, an absolute shock when the dogs attack. Like, how could this happen? Exactly. Let's get into another email. And see what I'm saying? Deputy shoots and kills dog in North Sacramento home. All right. So we've got another damn ad. Thank you. I see that. You go play. I'll be there soon, okay? Thank you. All right. Deputy shoots and kills charging pit bull in North Sacramento home. An arrest was made on charges of using a dog to engage with law enforcement. So as we've said before, you can't have a go. Thank you. You can't have a gun. You can't have a knife, but you can have one of these dogs, right? So let's get into it. This was as of October 13th of 2021. Sacramento County Sheriff's Office said a deputy shot and killed a pit bull after it charged at them in a North Sacramento home. According to Sheriff's spokesperson, Lieutenant Sean Hampton, deputies went to a home located on Redwood Avenue in an effort to contact the person inside. After trying to make their presence known multiple times by knocking on doors and windows, deputies entered through the rear door after the person had refused to come out of a room. Hampton said Deputies were confronted by the person's dog who charged at the deputies. So, you know, if they're knocking all over the windows and doors and this person knows they have a warrant or these cops are about to come in, then this is a good time to get your dog held up and on a leash before it gets shot. Okay? And you say, life is like a box of chocolates. They'll kill your dog. Sorry. A deputy ultimately shot the dog, whom Hampton said was about a foot away from attacking before it was killed. The person inside was arrested for allegedly using the dog to engage with law enforcement. No other information has been released as to why the deputies were there. Sounds to me, though, because they don't really go around knocking on your windows, doors, and then enter your home without you having a warrant. Correct? William. Yeah, I hope so. You know, actually, someone had asked me, like, do you think that withholding dogs from your children will make them want to have them when they're older? And I was like, ooh, that's a rough one, right? Because a lot of times if you hold something away from children, they will want to do it when they get old enough and they get away from you. And let's just hope not. And with him growing up, hearing everything I have to say about them, I hate to say this about my own son, but he would be a fool to do something like that with all the information he already has. Reminds me of the video of the two shit bulls attacking each other at PetSmart. Absolute win-win. Exactly, Aaron. Exactly. Here's one. Has your life gone to the dogs? Okay. This is as of September 29th of 2021. I was one of many British Columbians who adopted a rescue dog during the first few months of the pandemic. I'd lost my 12-year-old Labrador in January and was longing for companionship and comfort of a dog. My new murder Oreo, Husky, I call them murder Oreos, delivers big time. Part therapy dog, part living companion, murder Oreo never fails to put a smile on my face. We know that animals have such a positive impact on our mental and physical wellness, and I think this was needed more than ever during COVID-19. General Manager of Communications says for the SPCA, while our adoptions have remained fairly static because of COVID, there have been a greatly increased demand, sometimes up to 200 applications for one animal. Imagine if that was for children that need homes, children that need to be adopted. You're lonely? You got extra money and finances to spend? Go get a child that needs you. Go spend time with your grandmother. No. Sure enough, dogs seem to be everywhere these days, in condo buildings, on city streets and parks, and even in the local stores. Shopping in stores with pet dogs is definitely a trend that's on the rise. Oh, this woman, Erin Bollinger from BringFido.com, a website that helps dog owners find hotels, restaurants, and other places that will welcome their pets. Why don't we start a website that's free from Fido.com, and then I can finally find somewhere to go that I'm not going to have to run into one of these things. It's a trend I definitely appreciate. I can combine a dog walk with a visit to the pharmacy, to the liquor store, or home hardware. Even Canadian Tire welcomes dogs, though I've noticed they are more likely to congregate in the pet aisle than the tire department. We love having a dog-friendly store, reads a placard at the front of the store, adding a single reasonable plea. Please help us by cleaning up after your dog. Patios are another great option with a well-behaved dog. At Fernwood Inn and Stage, my neighbor and her annoying dogs, Bailey curls up under my table and patiently waits for tasty morsels. Oh, murder Oreo. I'm sorry. Many hotels have long rolled out the red carpet for their four-legged guests, giving owners peace of mind while they travel. Accent Inns, for example, has a pet program for more than 30 years. These hotels try to be as flexible as possible with their pet policy. We don't have size limits, and you can bring more than 2 dogs. We just ask that you call and let us know, adding that they've even housed a tiger once. He was working at a local movie studio. It's part of who we are, Director of Sales and Marketing says. During the recent heat wave, many guest rooms were occupied by locals and their pets. We had tons of animals checking in. Most of us are pet owners and enjoy seeing dogs of all sizes in our hallway. Over at the Fairmount, Empress Winston, a 5-year-old former guide dog trainee, has found his calling as a canine concierge. Oh, that's your calling? I bet that guy gets laid all the time. There in the lobby of the storied hotel, the Labrador Golden Retriever Cross welcomes pets and their owners, even is available for city walks. You can just borrow this thing and walk it. He also has his own Instagram account where he offers advice about dog walks and more. The Empress has also had a pet program in place for well over 10 years. Here are a few tips for navigating dog-friendly Victoria, as well as some suggestions on how to prepare your dog for the inevitable. Keep in mind, not all public or private spaces are dog-friendly. Even if one local retailer is pet-friendly, it does not mean that other locations of the same chain will be okay with dogs roaming their aisles. At storefronts, check for dogs' welcome signs. Poke your head inside and ask for permission before entering. Once inside, be acutely aware of other customers. Some may actually be afraid of dogs. Be considerate and alert to their body language. Yeah, right. Keep your dog close to you at all times and give fellow shoppers wide berth. And watch also for signs at parks and benches. Some close entry to dogs at certain times of the year. Okay? God. And they just go on and on and on and on and on about all the beaches they can go to. I mean, this thing is ridiculously long. And then you see an article about a child getting hurt. What's up, ban all dogs? And nobody cares about any of that. Help some homeless veterans. There you go, Beanie. Yeah, the world is going to the dogs. This is hell on earth. Yes, the fucking shopping with the I'm so fed up with that. It's not bad enough we don't all have to see them and be around them. And remember in the one article about the damage that dog barking does to your physiological and psychological health, they say, like, just leave your house for a while, right? You just leave your house for a while and get away. Well, where the fuck am I supposed to go? Because the things are everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? So speaking of the demons, yeah, like I said, my damn neighbor just came home. I don't even think it's a Chihuahua. I think it's a fucking... Oh, it drives me insane. So here's what I did. I'll share this with you guys. So that dog is right next door to the house I've been working on. And so I've been getting sick of... Ben saying we need a Cecil Hotel for dogs. That is a very clever comment. This dog has been barking nonstop and driving me fucking insane. Okay, so what I did was I took my music speaker and I started playing Body Count and Slayer and Ministry, like full volume. My phone's all warning me, like, please turn your phone down. Hey, go. Please turn your phone down. You're going to hurt your eardrums. I'm like, not hurting my eardrums. And I just stuck it right in the window and I just blared that thing out. Fuck that thing. Yeah, felt friends close in need. You keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Exactly. Hey, whatever, it worked. I also listened to part of that album too. I was just jamming that through the window at these things. Like, take that, you pieces of shit. Let's see. Maybe. Let me see how long we've been here. Ah, shit. We've been here a minute. Okay, let's cover like one more story, and then we'll do the comedy thing. Fuck Fluffy. They'll shut up in a second. See? Like I said. Oh, let's see. I'm looking. Ah, okay. Let's do this. So I blew my speaker out on a dog whistle, turned up to full blast. Yes, use ultrasonic deterrents. You got to go. See you soon, Asher. Thanks for being here. All right, so guys, I'm going to go ahead and do one more story, and then we're going to do our comedy bit. If anybody else has any funny stories to add to tomorrow's live stream, because we're going to have to do one, because I still have so much. It's unreal. All right, so here we go. Nope, that's not it. All right. Shit. Here we go. Dog mauls 13-year-old boy delivering cupcakes to a neighbor. Okay, this happened March 23rd of 2021. A boy suffered life-threatening injuries after he was attacked and mauled by his neighbor's dog, according to Missouri police. Police in Rolla came to a residence Saturday after learning that a 13-year-old boy was attacked by a dog, which officers say was a pit bull. The boy was delivering cupcakes to the neighbor when the dog got off its chain and attacked the boy. The child was pinned to the ground by the dog, which kept mauling him despite attempts from its owner to restrain it. Adults removed the dog from the boy, who received first aid from people at the scene. Once again, like we said, these people cannot control these things. Another reason they should be illegal. Child had to be airlifted to a St. Louis hospital where he's being treated for major injuries to his head, neck, and face. Police said an adult trying to restrain the dog also suffered a dislocated shoulder. The dog was subdued by Rolla animal control officers and later euthanized at the veterinary clinic. Its owner was unable to provide proof that the dog had received its rabies vaccination. See how short that article was? Collectively, it was like this big, the size of an average man's dick. And then they have the article about taking your dog out in public and going to all these places. This fucking big. Vince's word of the day. Oh, like it. You're sneaky. That was fun. And my Wi-Fi is not working. Yeah, I don't even have these. Whoa. Yeah, poor child. And so basically for taking cupcakes over to the neighbor, there goes that. There goes the little boy. So, guys, let's do our comedy skit and let's end this for the night and let's just reconvene tomorrow. Camellia Rosa says, I fucking hate dogs. I agree. I also fucking hate dogs. Welcome to the group, Camellia. We were just about to wrap up, actually, and we're going to cover a comedy story, and then we're going to be doing another live stream tomorrow night. How about the same time, y'all? Okay? How about we... Oh, Moni Tony's here, too. Cool. What about peacefully banning dog owners? Don't rent a room to dog owner. Don't hire dog owners. Don't call to party. Yeah, I already don't date dog owners, period. Exactly. This man is speaking the good word. Fuck dogs. I agree with everything y'all just said right there. That's why this is one of the greatest places. So remember, guys, before I read the comedy story, IHD still has his live stream up. Stop by and say hi. Show him some support, man. Okay? That's what I've been doing every day. Once a day, I just stop by and say, hey, man, we miss you, and blah, 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 blah. Let's see. The pinned comment up here is from Mountain Rose Herbs. They are promoting us. So we have a sponsor. That's pretty badass. They do essential oils, herbs, teas. You can make your own lotions. They teach you herbal infusions. Every video, I am putting up a different recipe they have. And when you spend money with them, it helps the channel. So it helps William and I, helps the channel grow. Okay? So you guys, please. And we'll get into our comedy here in a second. The GoFundMe that Beanie just put up is for the elderly woman that was attacked by another member of the family's dog, and she's had to have tracheotomy. She's got 31 staples. She's in bad shape, and her money is only up around $1,500 or something. It's really sad. Like I said, if she was an Alaskan Malamute, she would have a whole bunch of fucking money, but she's not. She's an old lady that raised an entire family and actually did things for society. Okay? So please take a look at either of those. Please, if you can help, even if it's $1 or $2. If you guys know, if you got 15, 20 people and each person only puts in $1 or $2, it makes a huge difference for this old woman and her family. I promised her family I would let you guys know, and we'd put up the link. Let's see. There you go. See, I think I put up $25, and I'm going to go back next week and do it again. Hey, Christian Bale, good to see you. Yeah, YouTube's been fucking with everybody. Gling even said that the other day, it was like 3 days after a live stream, and they told her, like, hey, Ashley's going live. And she, like, emails me, like, are you going live? And I'm like, no, I'm not. That was days ago. So, yeah, please help that lady. Like I said, even if it's $3.50, you guys, you know, this is the kind of stuff where we actually get a chance. And as Chef Mutt Meat said earlier, and she's right, every time we step forward and advocate for a victim of a dog attack, it brings more awareness and it gets people talking and understanding. We're not just dog haters sitting around talking shit. We genuinely care about other humans. This is part of why we're so passionate about this. Fuck Fluffy. I'm going to wear a Halloween costume for the next live stream. Maybe tomorrow night. It's going to be really funny. Trust me. I almost did it tonight. Let's get into our comedy story, and then let's wrap this up for the night so everybody can relax. Besides, I'm hungry. I got the snackies. I want to go eat something. All right, where's my comedy thing? I just seen it. I shall find it. Like I said, I've got so many fucking emails. One second. That's a celebration one. I can save that for tomorrow. There it is. This is fucking hilarious, okay? Oh, God, this is so funny. You guys, I just want you to know I've got a picture of this dog. Its pupils are so fucking big. Looks like one of my friends in high school, Bradford Whippet, eats a bag of ecstasy tablets. This happened back in 2015. Okay, but this is our comedy story for the night. A whippet, for those of you that don't know, is a small version. They're not directly related, but it looks like a small greyhound, okay? A whippet received emergency medical treatment after eating a bag of ecstasy tablets. 17-month-old, high as fuck, was on a walk with his elderly owner in Bradford when he sniffed out a bag of heart-shaped pills and started eating them. The owner took the bag and, I'm high as fuck piece of shit, home, but the dog started foaming at the mouth and was rushed to Bradford's pet hospital. I'm high as fuck piece of shit made a full recovery, and the incident has been reported to police. Okay? The pet hospital is run by an animal charity. Head nurse said the dog was in critical condition when it arrived at the hospital. He collapsed and the toxins were causing organ failure. Life-saving treatment was started straight away. He was put on an IV drip and received activated charcoal to absorb the toxins. Without the treatment, he would not have survived the night. They collected the remaining pills and disposed of them. So apparently, dogs can't hold their ecstasy. So you guys know. Yeah, Isabel's. Yeah. No, you're still there, dude. No one took you away. You're one of my favorites. So yeah, no, you're there, honey. I don't know why it's saying that to you, but you're there. That's funny, right? It's garbage dogs. Dogs can't party. That's what I said. All right, guys. They should have played techno music for it. All right, let's wrap this up for the night. I have so many emails. So we'll do this again tomorrow night, same time, right? We'll do a Fuck Fluffy Saturdays at 5. I've got a lot of work to do tomorrow. And, so lightweight. Anyways, until next time, I appreciate you all. I thank you from the bottom of my dog-hating heart. Get your steel-toe boots. Take care of yourself. Please hit the GoFundMe and help this elderly woman. Let's show that we mean business, right? Fuck Fluffy, right? Let's see. Thank you, kittens. Please visit the link for Mountain Rose Herbs if you want to buy any of that stuff and help support the channel. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll send out another message and let everybody know. And until then, I thank you all, and I'll see you soon, everybody. Oh, so good to have you today, Rational Cleanliness. And I'm going to go subscribe to you. Beanie sent me the email or the message to remind me. So I'll see you guys. Bye, Ban All Dogs. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you on the next one tomorrow night.